profile to a point where TV's happy to pay a little bit more money.
Did not know that. So who will be your head trainer on the night?
Ego.
Okay. And how long have you been with them?
A couple months now.
Couple months.
Yeah.
In the darkness, in secret.
No, it's not a secret.
Are you
Of course they screwed you over in this spot. Of course they did that. Of course they used you here. Of course they took advantage of you here. That's what they're supposed to do.
Ben Davison has finally broken his silence on being dismissed by Anthony Joshua's team, and what he reveals cuts deeper than anyone expected. He doesn't rant, he doesn't shout, but the fury underneath his calm, controlled voice is unmistakable. This isn't just a split, it's a betrayal. A professional.
When you've got the name and the achievements of somebody like Anthony Joshua, there's always going to be a path. Paths will open up for you. Whether people like that or not, that's just the reality of it.
Wound mixed with personal disappointment, the kind that leaves a coach questioning everything he poured into a fighter. While Anthony Joshua continues to glide forward on the sheer weight of his global reputation, the man who helped steady him during one of the most unstable chapters of his career was left unpaid, sidelined, and ultimately discarded.
I think the only thing he did wrong was not being strong enough to put his foot down. But he wasn't in a position to do that. And I think financially, now hopefully he's in a position that if he gets a fight coming through, the rules are, I'm the trainer, I'm the coach, you stay out there, this is my job. If you've hired me to do a job, let me do our job, keep out of it. So his only crime is being too nice.
Ben Davison wasn't just another coach brought in for technical tweaks. He was the stabilizing force behind Joshua's mental and physical reset. But according to insiders and observers across the boxing world, his role was diminished, interfered with, and ultimately ignored by the constant noise surrounding Joshua's inner circle. Johnny Nelson's assessment cuts straight to the point. Ben Davison tried to hold that corner together with professionalism and dignity, even as Joshua's team blurred the lines of authority. A top trainer.
Isn't the first time he's gone into different environments to learn from different people, and obviously, if that's the case, great people to learn from.
Cannot operate without respect and decisive control. Yet Davison was forced to navigate an environment where outside voices were constantly brought in, undermining the clarity he was trying to instill. Ben stayed loyal, stayed committed, stayed silent while doing the real work. But in the end, he was left both unpaid and unappreciated. Eddie Hearn's calm, diplomatic tone when addressing the split barely conceals the bigger issue bubbling beneath the surface. Ben Davison invested his time and expertise into reshaping Anthony Joshua's mindset.
He knows the kid inside out. Yeah. He knows how he works. He knows all the mechanics behind that kid and how to motivate and get the best out of him. We've seen it. And to get rid of him now at this point, I think it's a bad move.
After difficult periods, he rebuilt fundamentals, introduced structure, and emphasized discipline. But the ecosystem around Joshua didn't match that calmness. They kept introducing new influences, fresh instructions, and conflicting ideas. What Ben tried to build, others tore apart piece by piece with their restless desire to modify, tweak, change, and experiment. It wasn't a lack of skill on Joshua's part. It was a lack of stability around him. Duke McKenzie highlights the imbalance clearly. Ben Davison understood Anthony.
Of course, he's gone there. Yeah. Tony will bring him old school values. He won't tinker with him too much.
Joshua in a way that only a dedicated trainer can. He mapped out every strength, every flaw, every pattern in Joshua's mentality. That's a bond that doesn't come easily. Yet Joshua's handlers ignored the importance of that connection and opted instead for disruption, again. Removing a coach who brought emotional balance and tactical discipline signals a deeper disconnect within the management, not with the fighter. The people making decisions seemed more committed to dramatic changes than consistent progress. Gareth A. Davies echoes what everyone is sensing: confusion.
I don't know. I mean, I don't like fights keep jumping and changing trainers. I don't like that. I like fights to be settled. But, it is what it is. It is what it is. I mean, what do I...
The team behind Anthony Joshua seems to change direction every few months, offering little explanation and even less consistency. Ben Davison's contributions risk being drowned out in all the noise. Instead of strengthening the structure he built, they abandoned it for another stylistic overhaul. A coach like Ben, a planner, a strategist, a mental architect, needs full support. Instead, he became the fall guy for decisions he didn't make. Frank Warren's perspective outlines the unsettling pattern.
Hey, listen, he got caught the head on the temple. Yeah. And then after that, it was a long night for him. I'm a bit sad because I didn't want him to go out like that.
Is that because of the fights you had with him?
No, it's because that he's never boxed a southpaw. You know, that's the first southpaw he's boxed in how long? Maybe his whole career.
Stability is the backbone of any fighter's long-term development, especially a heavyweight navigating the twilight of his prime. Ben Davison brought that stability. He brought quiet control, discipline, and organization to a turbulent period in Joshua's career. But the team around Joshua kept stirring the pot. They wanted new setups, new voices, new ideas, ignoring the foundation Ben was laying. When management chases instant solutions, the most consistent man in the room becomes the easiest one to blame. Adam Smith hints that something deeper is at play. Ben Davison provided clarity and purpose going into the Dubois fight. He built a...
They choose you. Fighters choose you. Then they use you to get where they need to be. Then they accuse you when everything goes wrong. And when they've left and gone somewhere else, then they start to abuse you by doing interviews, slagging you off. And that happens more times.
A mental structure that allowed Joshua to perform under pressure. But one setback, one moment that didn't fit the team's expectations, and they panicked. They didn't build on the foundations Ben set. They abandoned them. They reacted emotionally. Instead of reinforcing the progress Ben guided Joshua through, they fled toward another direction entirely. The decision was desperate, not strategic. Dominic Ingles' words echo the core issue. Ben Davison built routines, trust, and a sense of direction for Anthony Joshua. He brought order to chaos. But once the team started browsing for alternatives, Ben's fate would...
He knows why he's doing it. More kudos to him. It's his career, and he's got that right to change teams. You know, coaches change teams all the time. Fighters come and go and everything. If he feels like that's the best move for his career, then more kudos to him. I support that.
Was sealed. The trust he established was exploited, then discarded. And to be left unpaid after all that? That is more than disrespect. It is an indictment of how mismanaged the situation truly was. Davison became a scapegoat for deeper issues within the team, issues he had no control over. Virgil Hunter highlights the philosophical side of the matter. Trainers come and go. Fighters change corners. But he misses the emotional cost beneath this specific situation. Ben Davison dedicated years of strategy, emotional support, and professional guidance to Joshua. The team shouldered none of the blame, yet replaced...
I don't want a big on my face. I've got to get a job done here. So after the things he said the last time, he knows he probably mugged himself off. I think that probably hurt him more than anything, hit his pride.
The man doing the real work. They disregarded his contributions while allowing the narrative to turn against him. A coach can accept being replaced. But being unpaid, being villainized indirectly, that is something entirely different. Johnny Nelson breaks down the fallout better than most. Ben Davison was the man preparing Joshua meticulously for every contest. He instilled confidence. He created tactical blueprints. He enforced discipline. And through it all, the team around Joshua dragged their feet, created distractions, and broke the rhythm of preparation. That instability not only left Joshua unsettled, it left Ben Davison unprotected. His loyalty was met with...
He's got some terrible habits, needs to get himself a proper old school coach, in my opinion, who's going to school him if he's going to have any chance of continuing in the sport of boxing. But you know what? I kind of fear for the guy more than want him to actually continue.
Fusion. His skill was overshadowed by constant interference, and ultimately, his work was undervalued to the point that he was never even paid. Duke McKenzie returns to the core truth. Discipline and proper guidance are the backbone of success. Ben provided both. But Joshua's team disrupted the environment that Ben worked tirelessly to restore. Instead of listening to the one man offering structure, they brought in new voices seeking quick fixes. Ben's clarity was drowned out by indecision. His solutions were overridden by those chasing short-term results. In the end, Ben Davison lost.
Because Tyson Fury is a fighting man. So I know Dylan White is nightmares to everybody. You never know right now. People are thinking, yes, I know how to take that boy out. It's the same shot Anthony Joshua took him out with, and Pulev took him out, Povetkin took him out with. But I just think, fight-wise, I'd lean towards Anthony Joshua. Boxing-wise,
not because he failed, but because the team failed him. Adam Smith captures the pattern of instability. Ben Davison built a strong one-on-one understanding with Joshua, a rare chemistry. But the team forced change after change, diluting his influence until there was nothing left. Joshua remained teachable, focused, and hardworking. The instability around him was not of his making. Ben provided everything the team asked for: structure, detail, strategy. Yet, he was left unpaid and publicly sidelined. Even Oleksandr Usyk, known for his precision, professionalism, and calm, placed focus on the seriousness of what Joshua needs at the elite level. Ben Davison
felt he needed a bit more personal one-on-one tuition. And look, he's a sponge, Anthony. He's always said that he's always learning. And to go to the team where he tried twice to get the better of Oleksandr and couldn't.
Gave Joshua elite preparation. He preached mental toughness and technical mastery. But the team behind Joshua diluted that preparation with unnecessary adjustments. The level of disregard for Ben's input is astonishing when you consider the World Championship environments he helped prepare Joshua for. And yet, his loyalty was rewarded with exclusion. Carl Frampton brings the discussion home. Anthony Joshua's talent is undeniable, but talent alone doesn't erase the chaos happening behind the scenes. Ben Davison created discipline and focus. The team broke that structure repeatedly. They added pressure, stress, confusion, and external noise. And Ben carried all of it without complaint. He tried to
Last fight, it's great. Because Anthony is Olympic champion, Francis Ngannou, it's second fight for boxing. Listen.
Healed Joshua from the instability, but in the end, he was pushed out, unpaid, underappreciated, and ignored. Gareth A. Davies emphasizes the mismatch Joshua faced at the elite level, highlighting how crucial Ben's structure was. Davison prepared Joshua for the top fighters in the world. But the team working behind the scenes interrupted that preparation, leaving him unpaid despite providing the backbone of strategy and mental readiness. His lessons built Joshua's focus. His guidance built Joshua's confidence, but the team undermined him until he was the one sacrificed. Now the fallout from Joshua's split with Ben Davison has left the boxing world buzzing. Ben gave everything.
Why do you think it doesn't harm AJ?
I don't think it does harm.
Why?
Because I just think he goes and, if it's a real fight, he'd go and blow him away and around. That's the end.
What if he doesn't do him in a round? Is that...
Discipline, structure, energy, strategy. But the people around Joshua disrupted that foundation, ignored the stability he created, and refused to pay him for his work. Now Joshua enters a new phase with new voices, new directions, and more uncertainty. Ben Davison's absence is bigger than the boxing world realizes. The mental edge he built, the discipline he restored, the structure he enforced, none of that is easily replaced. And that raises the question the boxing world is divided on. Will Anthony Joshua rise above the chaos? Or will Ben Davison's absence become the weakness Jake Paul finally exploits? Which side are you on?